Hey, good to see you. You got time for a visit? Good. Come on in. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Jim Wood. I founded Maverick Express the summer of 1995, and our fleet at the time consisted of a brand new cargo van that I was very proud of. Matter of fact, my dad fabbed it up to be a state-of-the-art expediter. And then my other truck was another cargo van. I think I had it in high school. I think it was a 1974 Ford Econoline. That was our fleet. The drivers consisted of myself and a part-time retired gentleman that was kind enough to help me out. And so we graduated from that, you know, up to a couple of straight trucks that we rented and later bought. But those were good times. Good times. I was the company's salesman, of course, along with our driver, and I'd be out selling by day or whenever I could. And when I'd get the work call, on my pager, which was my wife, who was our dispatcher, I'd hustle home if I had time to change clothes, and if I didn't, put magnetic signs on the side of the van, and away we would go. So that was our primary focus back in those days, was that of an expediter, and still is. But we evolved over time into dedicated cartage and pure truckload as well. It was kind of funny because back in the early days, a customer said, "Well, how about if you get this tractor trailer, and then you could do this milk run for us?" And I wasn't really sure what a milk run was, but I can learn, and I know what a tractor trailer is, so we got the first one. And so if you fast forward 20 years or so, the tractor trailer is our primary mode of transportation, but we still do, we have a love for expediting. It's still a big part of our business. So what prompted this venture into this business we call Maverick Express? I'm glad you asked, because it's a story I always like to tell. When I got out of college, I got into the trucking industry right away and worked for some real fine companies and got some real great experience, worked with some wonderful people. But, as these things go, it's not exactly how I would have run things. So I'd come home at night, my wife would, hear my, well, if I had a trucking company, this is how I would do it. And so I think she kind of got tired of hearing that, and so she said, before you get any older, maybe you better do this. And so I recall going into my, calling my boss like the next day and said, I've made a decision, I'm going to be leaving the company. The next day he came in my office and proceeded to give me a pretty good sermon, that, Jim, big companies don't need any Mavericks. And so for that, thank you if you're watching, appreciate it. So it's been a nice success story over the past 20 years, and we certainly look forward to the next 20 years as well. I'm often asked, well, how can you compete with the biggest players out there? And I would answer it like this: we've got our brokerage, which is very robust, which partners us with carriers all over the country. I don't care if it's a refrigerated load, an expedited load, a containerized load, we're in position to do it. And not only that, we are, as I said earlier, a Landstar agent. And so when you team with those folks, and they've got over 9,000 trucks traveling all over North America, we've got a team that can compete with anyone, really. And the nice thing about it, customers appreciate the fact that you're dealing with the same operations team regardless if it's a dedicated cartage shipment, an expedited shipment, a Landstar shipment, whatever. You're still dealing with the same group of professionals. And I'd venture to say that we probably got 200 years of experience combined between all of us. So as you can imagine, there hasn't been a lot that we haven't seen over the years. Not too many problems that we can't solve. So what makes us different, than the other hundreds of thousands of carriers out there? I would say it's probably like this. It's the people. And I know what you're going to say. Well, everybody says that. Everybody says our people make the difference. Well, we really do walk the walk here. Before anybody comes on board, number one, they are handpicked. From a driver's standpoint, we're interested in only the safest, most professional drivers that the industry has to offer. And we do our best to match them up on assignments that are most compatible with their level of interest and their talents. So, what makes a Maverick? How do we arrive at that name? And that's always that fun story to tell about my boss telling me we didn't need any. Well, what is a Maverick? If you look at the I guess Webster's dictionary version, it'd be that the herd bull that kind of separates himself off from the rest of the pack. And from a trucking standpoint, I would say that's us. I'm very bullish on the future. Why? Because I've got every confidence in the team that we have established here at Maverick, and I have every confidence in the customers that we do business with. I feel that they are very careful, in choosing their carriers and choosing us, just as we've carefully chosen to do business with them. So I don't see any reason not to be full of optimism for the next 20 years.
500 years. What is the nature of the good life? So, all right, ask you something else.
Being part of the Maverick Express family is the nature of the good life.